We've heard the term Meals on Wheels for a long time, but what does that mean? Let's find out. Let's welcome Jimmy Golding from the Mountainland Association of Governments, also known as MAG, to the chatter.
Thank you so much.
Jimmy.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
You're a big deal to have here.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you to say.
I think you work. Explain to our viewers your role at MAG, because you cover a lot of different things. Then we're going to kind of hone in
Twofold,
on one.
please. Actually, yes. Define MAG and then what you do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's interesting. A lot of people know one side of MAG. Very few actually know all of what we do. So MAG does aging services, which is my realm. That's where I work. And then we also have the planning department, who helps out with like trails, and they work with the different cities and zoning and things like that. And then we also have what's called CED, Community Economic Development. And they do like small business loans and things like that. So MAG is actually quite broad in what we do.
It's just not Meals on Wheels.
No.
Okay,
no,
all right.
Meals on Wheels is just one program within our whole aging department.
Okay.
So even in just our aging, we do quite a bit more.
So
than just
let's hear about a little bit of all the departments before we go into Meals on Wheels.
Yes.
That's what we had some questions about.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be honest with you. I don't know the planning department and CED nearly as much as I do aging.
No, the aging, that's what I want to hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So we have, I'm going to start with Friendly Callers. So this is a program where if there is a lonely senior, somebody who's a little isolated and needs some type of interaction or friendship, we provide them a volunteer. And this can be anybody, you know, it doesn't have to be another senior or just somebody that is willing to call, and they just build a relationship with each other. And it's actually really cool, you know, because they'll make these phone calls, and it's actually really fun when you get another isolated senior and they start to build this friendship together, because it's just a phone call, you know, and so they get to build that relationship and that rapport with each other without having to leave their home. That's one of my favorites. I really like that one.
And easy.
It is. It is. We also have what's RSVP, that's Retired Senior Volunteers. And what they do is they will go help kids read in schools, or they'll help at the Red Cross or Meals on Wheels. All sorts of different areas in the community. And it's actually really cool there too, because we just ask that they give us their time, and we'll help them find a place that is looking for volunteers. So we'll help them find a home.
It's a great way to give them value, because I think sometimes as people age, they're like, well, what is even my purpose? Like, I'm done working, my family's grown up, what do I do now? And so to give them opportunities like that is just fantastic.
Yeah, well, and it's that companionship and that connection to the community. Right? I mean, that's actually really, really important for people as they start to transition to this time of life. Still having a purpose, you know, feeling like they are valuable to their community around them. And so it's a really cool opportunity for them.
And how do you know who needs that phone call? How is that connection all made?
Yeah, so we have, you know, obviously more programs, and throughout, you know, the community, we go and we visit with these people in their homes, and we get to know what their needs are. And so like for Meals on Wheels, for example, we will sit down and do an assessment with them and ask them about their health, their nutrition, you know, kind of get to know them a little bit. And while we're doing that, a lot of times it comes out that, you know, I'm kind of isolated. You know, I don't really have family or friends that come around and visit me very often. You know, and so that's when it kind of cues us, oh, hey, you know, what do you think about Friendly Callers? You know,
I could put you on this little list.
Do people request a female or male friendly caller?
They do.
Do they? Yeah. So if an old lady is like, well, I'd really like a male caller.
Yeah, we
One
try
with Southern
charm.
Well,
Jan, we have a lady for you that could make some phone calls.
So I have to tell you, ladies, so when Jan was talking about being a Southern belle there, so I actually lived in Alabama.
Oh! She said we don't talk about Alabama.
it's like Bruno, you don't talk about it.
So we won't talk about football. It's fine.
Politics and football.
Let's go back to Meals on Wheels. How would one qualify?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great question. So somebody who is 60 years or older and homebound.
Okay.
And we kind of clarify homebound as somebody who can't leave home without aid.
Okay.
So somebody else coming to help them, pick them up, take them to the store, the doctor, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Are these kind of the same lists? I mean, these seem like defined lists, like even for the friendly phone calls. Is that list coming from like maybe Social Security list numbers, reports? That,
Yes,
you
are
know,
they
how do you
calling
know?
in
Yeah.
to your program and that's how they do, or is there another organization that's reaching out to you to contact these?
It's actually a lot of word of mouth.
Okay.
You know, I mean, Meals on Wheels is a pretty common, you know, program that people have heard of, you know, and a lot of people actually have a connection to it, whether it's their grandparents or their parents. And so we actually get a lot of people who are just reaching out, either themselves or a family member who is looking to get some services. But we also have a lot of community partners. You know,
Perfect.
and we help each other quite a bit. You know, so like if I know somebody needs to go get some extra food boxes or things like that, you know, we'll send them to Tabitha's Way or the food bank and make sure they're getting their whole needs met. You know, not just one of them.
And do
love
the
that.
people that are receiving those meals, do they pay anything for them?
They don't.
Okay.
No. So this is a free program. It's all intended for just those who have a need, right? So something that we say quite a bit is that food is medicine, and so is companionship. You know, because what Meals on Wheels really is doing is providing both of those.
Right.
Right. We're providing that nutritious meal to make sure that they're staying healthy. But 60% of the clients we have, the only person they see every day is our volunteer.
Wow.
You know, and let that settle in for a second.
Yeah.
You know, and then on top of that, there's actually a study done recently that said somebody who is isolated, you know, for a whole day, that is pretty much as unhealthy as smoking a pack of cigarettes
Oh
a
my.
day.
That's
So
true.
I mean,
I believe that.
it is very important to have that social connection as well as the nutrition. And so what Meals on Wheels does is really it's providing that connection to the community.
Right.
So
It's
both,
a lot more.
in both ways, and
Yeah.
socially and with food. So then you'd need drivers for that.
Yeah.
So who are your drivers? How does
Yeah.
that work?
That again, great question. So anybody who is 18 years or older, we have them come in and they can drive for us. So we have 400 plus volunteers that deliver these meals throughout our region. And what they do is it's just an hour a week. You know, so we assign to a specific day and a specific area, and they will actually do that exact same route every week. So they get to know the people, they start to build that relationship, you know, and that's kind of the really great part about volunteering, right? Is they get to actually see these individuals and the effect that they're having. You know, my very first job at MAG was the volunteer coordinator. And so I got to pair these volunteers who honestly, they're just doing this out of the kindness of their heart, right? They just want to be a part of this, you know, and then these clients, these older adults who just have a need, right? They understand that, you know, they need a little bit of extra help. And then these volunteers just get to walk into their life and be like, hey, I love you, you know, here I am,
awesome.
you know, so it's actually really, really special time.
Yeah,
I
because
really
you
do
never
love that.
know. You never know. Even with drivers, they could need that
That.
connection too. I mean, we're
Absolutely.
seeing lots more loneliness, not just for older people, but across the board.
Yeah, well, and it's not even just age specific, right? I mean, so we have quite a range. You know, we have BYU and UVU, you know, in our area. So we get a lot of students, but we also get stay-at-home moms, and we get retired people. You know, we get pretty big gamut of individuals who want to help.
But I love that amount of time. Like you can do 1 hour, one day a week, right? When you think about, delivering these meals and connecting, it's like that 1 hour that you can give to those people. Like that just simplifies it. That's really a beautiful way of doing it.
Because it's just that 1 hour, there really is very few people who can't participate in some way or another. You know, and that makes it possible so that whoever has that interest can get involved, and we like that.
We could
To
spend so
that
much
point,
more time.
right? To wrap it up here, if anybody wants to get involved with it, what's the best way to reach out?
Yeah, absolutely. So they can go to our website, Meals on Wheels, Summit, Utah, and Wasatch. If they just Google that, they'll find us.
Okay.
The website itself is mowsuw.org.
Okay.
and they'll find us, or they can just call us,
Okay.
and we will help them out.
Oh,
So.
thanks,
Love that.
Jenny, for
Thank you
sharing
so
that
much.
message.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.